Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be teaching you how to use external camera flashes, also known as speedlights. I bought my first speedlight in February of 2020 and now I'm upgrading for a very silly reason I'll tell you later. Since I'm an intermediate speedlight user, I feel comfortable teaching beginners like you how to use a speedlight without bombarding you with too much technical jargon. I have broken the video up into chapters, so if there's something specific you're looking for, feel free to navigate to what you're looking for and absorb the knowledge. If you're just here for the entire ride, bear with me and let's go. With that being said, let's start off with the first question you may have. Why use the camera flash? A camera flash temporarily adds light to your scene. You can use this temporary light source, a flash of light, as a key light, a fill light, or a backlight, or all three if you have three flashes. Now you might be saying, why bother use a flash? I have a video light. I can just probably use this as a light source to take photos. I mean, you could, but here are the advantages of a flash over a video light. Video light, also known as continuous light, is, continuous as the name implies. So while you are reframing your shot, you are posing your model, your light will always be on and blaring in your face. I mean, you could turn off your lights, but then your entire exposure would be ruined. As bright as your continuous light is, a flash can be a lot brighter and would not be as annoying to your subject or your subjects because it's just a temporary source of light versus a constant source of light where you're framing your shot, you're posing, you're doing this, doing that. No. You can just use your flash, you set your power, test shot, test shot, test shot as necessary, and it would not be as annoying as having a continuous video light in your subject's face. Now here are some tips on how to use camera flash. Never use the built-in camera flash. As soon as you decide you want to either photograph people or add light to a scene, just get an external flash. Don't even bother with your camera's built-in flash. Here are the advantages of using an external flash versus your built-in flash. Your external flash has a larger flash area. The flash power can be adjusted. You can bounce your flash, as in you can bounce the light coming off of your flash off of a wall, a ceiling. You can bounce it off of some white foam poster board or foam board, and you can disconnect the external flash from your camera and place it wherever you want in your scene. This is called off-camera flash. More on this a bit later. Tip number 2, expose for ambient, then flash. With your camera in manual mode and your white balance set to the flash setting, use your shutter speed, your aperture, and your ISO to expose for the ambient environment, which is your background. Your subject may or may not be dark, but that's where your flash comes in, to add light to the subject. You can either manually control the power of the flash to expose your subject, or you can use TTL mode, which is kind of like an automatic mode for flash power. Flash power is described as a fraction, with 1/1 being full power, 1/2 being half power, and so on and so forth. On your high end, you have full power, which is 1/1, and at the low end, you have 1/128th power. Tip number 3, never use direct flash. Asterisk. By direct flash, I mean pointing your flash directly at your subject and firing at them. Now, if you can't fire directly at your subject, how are you supposed to light your subject with your flash? Here's the trick. What you do, you extend the bounce card and the diffusion plate and you point your flash straight up. When you do this, most of your flash power will be bounced off of the ceiling and some of it will come off of this bounce card towards your subject, and this creates soft light. You can also swivel the flash head behind you to bounce off of a wall, poster board, or a reflector, but personally I have never done this, so I can't speak on it. Now let me explain the asterisks. Never use direct flash asterisk unless you are either outdoors or you have your flash in a softbox. Keep in mind, when you are using direct flash, you may or may not want to use your diffusion plate, but you definitely don't want to be using your bunks card. Since you are pointing your flash directly at your subject instead of bouncing it off of his ceiling and using the bunks card, you have to adjust your flash power accordingly. Most of the time you would be using either 1/8 power to full power when you're outside. Using off-camera flash works a lot better than using it on camera. When you are using off-camera flash, you can use a longer lens, you can be further away from your subject, you can use the flash as a backlight or a gelled backlight. And if you're using off-camera flash as a key light, you can control the direction of the light, whether it be on the left side of your subject, the right of the subject, top down up from your subject, whatever. When using your flash off camera, you can just use the included feet and stand your flash up on a table or any other flat surface. But for better flexibility with off-camera flash, there are a few accessories that I recommend you get. I will talk about these accessories in order of importance. A light stand can be used to adjust the height of your flash. There's a screw hole at the bottom of your Speedlight's feet where you can attach the flash to your light stand. If you want to use a tripod instead of a light stand, you can do that, but I recommend you get an extra quick release plate, assuming you have a tripod with quick release plates. You can keep the quick release plate permanently attached to the bottom of your Speedlight's feet. Want to make your flash photography look better? Get yourself a Speedlight softbox. A softbox further diffuses the light coming from your flash and effectively gives you a larger light source. Just remember, when you are using a Speedlight softbox, to use the diffusion scrim. Having a larger light source is nice, but you know what isn't? Having hard lights. And I unfortunately have made the mistake of using my softbox without the diffusion scrim, and I got a whole bunch of hard lights, which is a look that I wasn't personally going for, but you might like using hard light in your photos. If you're interested in colored light coming off of your flash, you can use gels. Simply put, gels are colored strips of plastic that you put over your flash head, and when you use your flash, the lights coming from your flash will take the color of whatever gel you have on top of your flash. The more you use off-camera flash, the more you realize that going over to your flash to adjust the power is a hassle. That's why I upgraded to this Altura flash and trigger set. I can adjust the flash power without touching the flash. I also upgraded because I lost the wireless trigger for my Power Extra flash, and the company does not sell the wireless trigger separately, nor do they sell a trigger that can adjust the flash power remotely. Whether you have a beginner flash or an intermediate flash, you would need some AA's to power them, and I would recommend you get some rechargeable AA batteries. If your AA's are rechargeable, you can just, recharge them. If your power is going down or if your flash is totally dead, you can just recharge the batteries instead of throwing them out and buying a new set of batteries. You can also top up your batteries if they don't totally die during your shoot. Personally, I recharge my AA's after every shoot. I have affiliate links to all of the accessories that I mentioned in the description down below. These links give me a small commission at no extra cost to you, so using them are not necessary but would be greatly appreciated. The last tip is practice. I know how cliche that sounds, but you know what they say, practice makes permanent, not perfect. With practice, you can make mistakes and figure out how to solve those mistakes. The tips I give you are just guidelines. I don't think you would have a good understanding of why I gave you these tips if you just watch the video and you don't practice. So that's why I recommend you practice. And hey, if you practice, you might find another tip that I have not personally mentioned to you. So practice, practice, practice. That's it for today's video. If you liked the video, like it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. If there's something you're still confused about or you don't understand my accent, I have left a version 1 of this script in the video description down below. Not in the description, sorry. It is on my website, which is in the description down below. So feel free to check out the script if there was something I wasn't too clear about. Again, links to all of the accessories are in the description down below. Feel free to use the links. You don't have to, but they would be greatly appreciated as they would give me a small commission off of the purchase. Thanks for watching everyone. Bye.